Hi friends, let me take you on an exciting journey into the heart of Stoicism and introduce you to Stoic philosophy. Never feel sorry for these 7 people. Number 1. People who refuse to learn. In Stoic philosophy, learning is seen as a lifelong journey. People who refuse to learn deprive themselves of growth and improvement. They resist change, sticking to outdated beliefs and habits, which only leads to stagnation. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom comes from constantly seeking knowledge and understanding, not from believing you already know everything. Never feel sorry for those who refuse to learn. They choose ignorance over wisdom. Instead, focus on your own path of growth and avoid being dragged down by their unwillingness. People who refuse to learn are often driven by pride or fear. Stoics believe that humility is essential to personal growth. Those who think they know everything have closed their minds to new experiences and ideas. Fear of being wrong or looking foolish stops them from embracing opportunities for learning. Their refusal to evolve makes their lives more difficult as they struggle to adapt. Don't pity them. Recognize that their inability to learn is self-imposed and holds them back. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. People who refuse to learn often blame their surroundings or others for their difficulties, rather than reflecting on how they can improve. This mindset prevents them from gaining valuable insights. They fail to realize that growth requires facing challenges and learning from mistakes. Feel no sympathy for their struggles, as they are the result of their own unwillingness to learn and adapt. In refusing to learn, people remain trapped in a cycle of ignorance and frustration. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, encouraging individuals to examine their beliefs and behaviors. Those who refuse to learn miss out on this crucial self-reflection, and their lives often become filled with repeated failures. Instead of feeling sorry for them, take this as a reminder to cultivate a mindset of openness and curiosity. By constantly seeking knowledge, you ensure that you avoid the pitfalls of stagnation. People who refuse to learn often drain the energy of those around them. Their unwillingness to change can create frustration in relationships, as they resist advice or constructive criticism. Stoic philosophy teaches us to protect our peace and energy by focusing on what we can control ourselves. It's not your responsibility to fix those who refuse to grow. Instead, surround yourself with people who are willing to learn and evolve, and don't waste time feeling sorry for those who won't. Stoicism also teaches that personal growth is not only for the individual but also benefits society as a whole. People who refuse to learn do a disservice to those around them by refusing to contribute positively. They often become obstacles to progress, refusing to see the bigger picture. Instead of pitying them, see their behavior as a cautionary example of what happens when you reject growth. By choosing to continue learning, you contribute to your own well-being and the improvement of the world around you. Another key aspect of Stoic philosophy is the acceptance of reality. People who refuse to learn deny the reality that life is constantly changing. They cling to outdated ideas or behaviors, which ultimately causes them harm. Stoics understand that change is inevitable, and the only way to thrive is to learn and adapt. Don't feel sorry for those who refuse to face reality. They are choosing to fight against the natural flow of life. Instead, embrace change and grow stronger from it. In conclusion, never feel sorry for people who refuse to learn. Their refusal is a conscious decision that keeps them from personal growth and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own development, recognizing that we can only control our own actions and attitudes. By refusing to learn, these individuals limit their potential and block themselves from leading fulfilling lives. Instead of wasting energy on pity, focus on cultivating your own wisdom and growth, leaving those who resist learning to their own fate. Number 2. People who are never grateful. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude is a central virtue that reflects wisdom and contentment. People who are never grateful live in a state of dissatisfaction, constantly focused on what they lack rather than appreciating what they have. This mindset leads to unhappiness and resentment. Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. You should never feel sorry for people who refuse to practice gratitude because they are choosing misery. Instead, focus on your own ability to be thankful, which will lead to a more fulfilling life. People who are never grateful often overlook the blessings in their lives. Stoicism teaches us to value what we have, rather than always wanting more. Those who never express gratitude blind themselves to the beauty around them. They fail to see that even the smallest pleasures in life can bring great joy. Instead of feeling sorry for them, understand that their lack of gratitude is a self-imposed barrier to happiness. They are missing out on the richness of life. A key Stoic principle is focusing on what we can control. People who are never grateful often dwell on things outside their control, which leads to frustration and anger. Stoics, however, practice acceptance and gratitude for what life brings. By refusing to be grateful, these individuals remain stuck in a cycle of negativity. Rather than pitying them, recognize that they are choosing to focus on the wrong things. Gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining a peaceful mind, something they willingly ignore. Another reason not to feel sorry for people who are never grateful is that they tend to drain the energy of those around them. Their constant complaints and negativity can bring down the mood of everyone in their presence. Stoicism teaches us to protect our own emotional well-being by avoiding toxic influences. It's important to set boundaries with ungrateful people and not allow their negativity to affect your inner peace. By maintaining your gratitude, you protect your mental health and avoid being dragged down. People who are never grateful also tend to lack resilience. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of enduring hardships with grace and learning from difficulties. Gratitude helps us find value even in challenging situations, while ungrateful people see only problems. Their refusal to see the good in anything makes it harder for them to recover from setbacks. Instead of feeling sorry for them, take their behavior as a reminder to build your own resilience through gratitude and positive thinking, no matter what life throws at you. Stoics believe that life is fleeting and that we should appreciate every moment. People who are never grateful waste precious time dwelling on what they don't have. They fail to realize that every day is an opportunity to grow, love, and experience the world fully. By practicing gratitude, we embrace the present and make the most of our time. Don't pity those who refuse to see the value in their lives. They are squandering their limited time on negativity. Use their example as motivation to live fully with gratitude. Gratitude also fosters positive relationships. People who are never grateful often struggle to maintain healthy connections with others because they focus on what others fail to do rather than what they contribute. Stoics emphasize mutual respect and appreciation in relationships, knowing that gratitude strengthens bonds. Ungrateful people miss out on deeper connections because they take others for granted. Don't feel sorry for them. Instead, prioritize gratitude in your own relationships to foster trust, love, and kindness with those around you. In conclusion, never feel sorry for people who are never grateful. Their lack of appreciation keeps them trapped in negativity, dissatisfaction, and poor relationships. Stoic philosophy teaches that gratitude is key to happiness, resilience, and personal growth. Instead of wasting energy on those who refuse to be grateful, focus on cultivating gratitude in your own life. By practicing thankfulness, you will find peace, joy, and strength, no matter the challenges you face. Leave the ungrateful to their own misery and embrace the power of gratitude for yourself. Number 3. People who refuse help. In Stoic philosophy, self-reliance and inner strength are key principles, but so is the wisdom to accept help when needed. People who refuse help often do so out of pride or fear of appearing weak, but they are missing a vital lesson in humility. Stoics teach that no one is entirely self-sufficient and that accepting help can be a way to grow. Never feel sorry for those who refuse help because their refusal is rooted in ego, which keeps them from reaching their full potential. People who refuse help often isolate themselves, thinking they can solve all their problems alone. Stoicism emphasizes interdependence, recognizing that humans are social beings meant to support one another. By rejecting help, these individuals are closing themselves off from valuable opportunities for connection and growth. They choose isolation over collaboration, which can be detrimental to their personal development. Instead of pitying them, understand that their refusal is their choice, and it prevents them from experiencing deeper relationships. Refusing help can also lead to unnecessary struggles. Stoics believe in focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. Sometimes, asking for help is the most rational and efficient way to overcome obstacles. Those who reject assistance waste time and energy trying to solve everything on their own. Their pride becomes a barrier to progress. Don't feel sorry for them, they are making their own path more difficult. Stoic wisdom teaches us that accepting help is often a way to move forward faster and more effectively. People who refuse help may believe they are displaying strength, but in reality they are missing an opportunity for learning. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from all experiences, including those shared by others. When someone offers help, it often brings new perspectives and insights. By refusing this, they shut themselves off from wisdom that could make their journey easier. There's no need to pity them because they are deliberately choosing ignorance over growth, limiting their potential in the process. A core tenet of Stoic philosophy is the importance of community and mutual support. People who refuse help not only deny themselves the chance to grow, but also miss the opportunity to contribute to the broader social fabric. Stoicism teaches that by helping one another, we strengthen the bonds of society. By rejecting help, these individuals distance themselves from this collective wisdom and support. Don't feel sorry for them, they're neglecting the interconnectedness that enriches life and makes us stronger together. Refusing help can also be a sign of unresolved inner conflicts, such as insecurity or fear of vulnerability. Stoicism encourages self-awareness and the courage to face one's weaknesses. People who refuse help may be afraid of showing vulnerability, but Stoicism teaches that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is part of being human. By refusing help, they miss the chance to grow emotionally and mentally. Instead of feeling sorry for them, recognize that they are avoiding the very experiences that could make them stronger and more resilient. Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace challenges and learn from them. People who refuse help often see asking for assistance as a sign of failure. However, Stoics view struggles as opportunities for growth, and sometimes growth means accepting help from others. By refusing help, these individuals limit their ability to face challenges effectively. They choose pride over wisdom, and in doing so, they hinder their own progress. Don't pity them for their choices, recognize that they are voluntarily holding themselves back from becoming better versions of themselves. In conclusion, never feel sorry for people who refuse help. Their refusal stems from pride, fear, or ignorance, all of which keep them from growing and connecting with others. Stoic philosophy teaches us that accepting help is not a weakness but a strength, a way to gain wisdom and strengthen relationships. Instead of feeling pity, focus on embodying Stoic virtues yourself. Accept help when needed, offer help when you can, and recognize the strength that comes from community and humility. Number 4. People who live beyond their means. In Stoic philosophy, living within one's means is essential to maintaining peace of mind and self-control. People who live beyond their means often do so to impress others or to feel a sense of temporary satisfaction. However, this lifestyle leads to stress and anxiety. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from inner virtues, not material possessions. Never feel sorry for people who live beyond their means because they are chasing superficial desires instead of focusing on what truly matters: personal growth and contentment. Those who live beyond their means are trapped in a cycle of debt and dissatisfaction. They constantly seek external validation, buying things they can't afford to feel important or accepted. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what is within our control: our thoughts, actions, and character, not on accumulating wealth or status. By living beyond their means, these individuals prioritize appearances over substance. Don't pity them. Their choices lead to a life of unnecessary complications and emotional turmoil. People who live beyond their means often lack self-discipline, a key Stoic virtue. They give in to impulses, spending money they don't have on things they don't need. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-control and moderation, reminding us that excessive desires lead to chaos. Living simply and within one's means allows for greater clarity and focus. Those who ignore this principle will constantly struggle with the consequences of their actions. And there's no need to feel sorry for them. They have the power to change their behavior but choose not to. Living beyond one's means is a form of self-deception. People convince themselves that material possessions will bring lasting happiness, but Stoicism reveals that true joy comes from within. By seeking fulfillment in external things, they ignore the importance of inner virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice. Stoics remind us that relying on external validation leads to instability. Don't feel sorry for those who chase luxury at the expense of their well-being. They are neglecting the opportunity to cultivate true inner peace and satisfaction. Financial stress is often the result of living beyond one's means, leading to anxiety and constant worry. Stoicism teaches us to seek tranquility by reducing unnecessary desires and focusing on what we truly need. People who overspend invite stress into their lives, creating problems that could easily be avoided by living more mindfully. Instead of pitying them, recognize that they are choosing a path filled with unnecessary tension. They are trading peace of mind for fleeting pleasures, which ultimately brings them more harm than good. In Stoic philosophy, contentment comes from gratitude for what we already have. Those who live beyond their means are never satisfied because they always want more. They fail to appreciate the present moment, constantly chasing the next purchase. Stoicism encourages us to focus on the present, valuing what we have instead of longing for what we don't. Never feel sorry for people who live this way. They have the ability to find peace in simplicity, but choose to create chaos through their endless desires. People who live beyond their means often feel trapped by their own choices. Stoicism teaches us to take responsibility for our actions and to live in harmony with nature. By overspending, they create artificial barriers in their lives, such as debt and financial insecurity. These barriers keep them from achieving true freedom and independence. Don't pity them for their situation, as they are the ones who have built their own cage. They can escape it by adopting Stoic principles, but only if they choose to change their mindset. In conclusion, living beyond one's means is a sign of misplaced priorities. Stoic philosophy encourages simplicity, self-discipline, and inner peace, values that lead to a fulfilling life. Those who prioritize material possessions over personal growth are destined to face unnecessary struggles and dissatisfaction. Instead of feeling sorry for them, recognize that they have the power to make different choices. By embracing Stoic virtues, they can find lasting contentment and escape the cycle of stress and anxiety that comes from chasing superficial desires. Number 5. Those who never apologize. In Stoic philosophy, humility and accountability are core values, and those who never apologize lack both. Refusing to apologize stems from pride and an unwillingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. Stoics teach us that we should strive to acknowledge our mistakes, learn from them, and grow. People who refuse to apologize are missing out on this essential self-improvement. Never feel sorry for them because they are denying themselves the chance to become better, more virtuous individuals through honest self-reflection. Apologizing is a sign of strength, not weakness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of integrity and self-awareness. People who never apologize often fear vulnerability or believe admitting fault makes them appear weak. However, in Stoicism, true power lies in recognizing one's flaws and having the courage to make amends. Those who avoid this step are stuck in a cycle of denial and stagnation. Instead of pitying them, understand that their refusal to apologize reflects their own internal struggle with growth and humility. Those who never apologize live in a constant state of avoidance. Stoicism teaches that avoiding responsibility only leads to inner turmoil. Apologizing brings clarity and resolution, allowing us to move forward without the burden of guilt or unresolved conflict. By never apologizing, these individuals are constantly carrying the weight of their actions without the release of forgiveness. Don't feel sorry for them. They are choosing to hold on to unnecessary emotional baggage that prevents them from experiencing peace and personal freedom. One of the key principles of Stoicism is to focus on what is within our control. People who refuse to apologize try to control how others perceive them by avoiding accountability. However, this is an illusion of control. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control others' reactions, but we can control our own behavior. By refusing to apologize, they are attempting to manipulate their image instead of focusing on improving their character. Their behavior is a reflection of insecurity, and there's no need to pity them for their choices. Apologies build trust and strengthen relationships, which is another vital Stoic principle. Stoics value harmony and cooperation, recognizing that human connection is essential to a fulfilling life. People who never apologize damage relationships by placing their ego above the bond they share with others. They miss out on the opportunity to repair trust and grow closer to those around them. Never feel sorry for people who refuse to apologize. They are isolating themselves from meaningful connections through their stubbornness and pride. Apologizing fosters resilience, a key Stoic virtue. It takes courage to admit when we are wrong and face the consequences of our actions. Those who never apologize miss the chance to develop this resilience. By avoiding apologies, they protect themselves from short-term discomfort but hinder long-term growth. Stoicism teaches us to embrace challenges, including the challenge of owning our mistakes. Don't feel sorry for those who avoid this. They are depriving themselves of the strength that comes from facing their imperfections head-on. Stoics emphasize the importance of living in alignment with nature and reason. Refusing to apologize is an irrational behavior that goes against our natural inclination toward growth and connection. People who never apologize are out of harmony with the Stoic idea of living according to virtue. They prioritize their ego over logic, creating inner dissonance. Instead of feeling sorry for them, recognize that they are trapped in a mindset that prevents them from reaching their full potential as rational, virtuous beings. In conclusion, people who never apologize are missing out on crucial opportunities for growth, connection, and peace of mind. Stoicism teaches that we should strive to improve ourselves through humility, accountability, and courage. Those who refuse to apologize remain stuck in pride and denial, unable to experience the freedom that comes from admitting faults. Never feel sorry for them. While they may avoid temporary discomfort, they are ultimately preventing themselves from achieving the wisdom and fulfillment that comes with true self-awareness. Number 6. Perpetual complainers about time. In Stoic philosophy, time is one of our most valuable resources. People who perpetually complain about time often lack an understanding of how to manage it effectively. Stoicism teaches us that time, once lost, can never be regained. Instead of feeling sorry for these individuals, recognize that they are choosing to waste their energy on complaints rather than focusing on what they can control. A Stoic perspective reminds us to make the best use of every moment and not dwell on what is beyond our control. Those who constantly complain about time fail to appreciate its fleeting nature. According to Stoicism, life is short, and we should seize every opportunity to live meaningfully. People who grumble about time often miss the chance to enjoy the present because they are too focused on the past or future. Rather than pity them, see their complaints as a sign of poor prioritization. Stoics believe that each day is a gift, and we must direct our attention to the things that matter most. Perpetual complainers about time often lack accountability for how they use it. Stoic philosophy emphasizes personal responsibility and understanding that we control how we spend our time. People who blame time for their problems are essentially avoiding responsibility for their own choices. They are not victims of time, but rather poor stewards of it. Instead of feeling sorry for them, recognize that they have the power to change their habits. A Stoic mindset helps us take ownership of our time and use it wisely. In Stoicism, the focus is on what is within our control. Time complainers are often fixated on external circumstances, deadlines, busy schedules, or commitments. However, these individuals fail to recognize that how they perceive and react to time pressures is entirely within their control. Rather than lamenting the pressures of time, a Stoic would adapt and find ways to prioritize what is important. By shifting focus from complaints to solutions, they can transform their relationship with time and become more efficient. Another issue with time complainers is their tendency to procrastinate. Stoicism teaches that delaying important tasks only leads to more stress and a greater sense of loss. People who perpetually complain about not having enough time often waste precious hours on unproductive activities or distractions. They fail to live in the present moment, constantly putting off what could be done today. Don't feel sorry for them. They are stuck in a cycle of procrastination and regret that prevents them from achieving their full potential. Stoicism reminds us that life's most valuable experiences are not found in endless distractions but in focused action. People who constantly complain about time often fill their schedules with meaningless activities that prevent them from reaching their goals. They may spend hours scrolling through social media or engaging in trivial tasks instead of dedicating their time to personal growth or meaningful relationships. Instead of pitying these individuals, understand that their frustration comes from not aligning their actions with their values. Time complainers are often stressed by the pressure to do everything perfectly. Stoicism encourages us to embrace the idea of good enough and to release the need for perfectionism. Those who complain about time often do so because they fear failure or imperfection. This fear keeps them from taking action and moving forward. Rather than feeling sorry for them, recognize that they are trapped by their own unrealistic expectations. A Stoic approach would remind them to focus on progress over perfection. In conclusion, people who perpetually complain about time are choosing to focus on the wrong things. Stoic philosophy teaches us to take responsibility for how we spend our time, prioritize what truly matters, and live in the present. Instead of feeling sorry for those who complain, encourage them to adopt a Stoic mindset and make the most of their limited time. By doing so, they can break free from their frustrations and live with greater purpose, clarity, and fulfillment. Number 7. People who disrespect boundaries. In Stoic philosophy, respecting boundaries is a key aspect of maintaining harmony and personal peace. People who disrespect boundaries, whether they are physical, emotional, or personal, lack an understanding of self-control and mutual respect. Stoicism teaches that everyone has their own domain, and it is essential to respect the autonomy of others. When people constantly violate boundaries, they show a lack of awareness and empathy. You should not feel sorry for them, as they are choosing to disregard the principles of respect and fairness. Those who disrespect boundaries often expect the world to revolve around their desires. This behavior stems from a sense of entitlement and a lack of emotional intelligence. Stoicism teaches that we should live according to nature, meaning we must understand and respect the limits of others. Instead of feeling sorry for these individuals, recognize that they are often driven by ego. Their inability to respect boundaries is a reflection of their inner discontent and failure to practice self-awareness. People who cross boundaries frequently disregard the Stoic principle of justice. Justice, in the Stoic sense, is about treating others fairly and respecting their rights. When someone oversteps boundaries, they violate this fundamental principle. A Stoic would not excuse such behavior or feel sorry for these people because they choose to ignore the basic rules of fairness. Instead, they should be reminded that respecting others' limits is crucial for maintaining balance and mutual respect in relationships. Another reason not to feel sorry for people who disrespect boundaries is their lack of self-control. In Stoic philosophy, self-discipline is a virtue that guides us to act rationally and with restraint. Those who disrespect boundaries often act impulsively, driven by their own desires without considering the consequences for others. Rather than pitying them, recognize that their failure to develop self-control is the root of their boundary-crossing behavior. A Stoic approach encourages them to cultivate discipline and practice mindfulness in their actions. People who consistently violate boundaries are often blind to the concept of personal responsibility. Stoicism teaches that we are responsible for our actions and must be mindful of how we affect others. Those who ignore boundaries shift the burden of their behavior onto others, expecting forgiveness without accountability. This lack of responsibility is a sign of their immaturity. Instead of feeling sorry for them, understand that they need to face the consequences of their actions and learn from their mistakes. In many cases, individuals who disrespect boundaries lack empathy. Empathy, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, requires understanding and valuing the feelings and needs of others. By ignoring boundaries, these individuals show they are disconnected from this essential human quality. Stoicism teaches that we should develop compassion and consideration for others, but not at the expense of our own values. Instead of feeling sorry for them, realize that their behavior reflects a deeper absence of emotional awareness. People who constantly push against boundaries often do so because they seek control over others. Stoicism advises us to focus on controlling our own actions and responses rather than trying to control external circumstances or people. Those who disrespect boundaries are often trapped in a cycle of frustration because they cannot achieve the control they desire. Rather than pitying them, a Stoic would see this as a sign of their internal struggle and lack of mastery over themselves. Finally, Stoicism teaches that we should not allow others' boundary violations to disturb our inner peace. While it is important to maintain compassion, we must also protect our own mental and emotional well-being. People who repeatedly cross boundaries do not deserve sympathy because they are choosing to create disharmony. Instead of feeling sorry for them, set clear boundaries and uphold them with calm firmness. This is the Stoic way, maintaining tranquility while ensuring that others respect the space we need to thrive. I hope these Stoic teachings are useful and effective for you. My goal is to make your life better and more enjoyable. I will accompany you in this interesting and meaningful magazine,